Hi everyone, welcome to today's session in Football in Society. Today we're going to be looking at football and social inclusion. So in the last session we looked at social inclusion, now we're going to footballify it. So the learning outcomes for today's session are understand the role football clubs play in delivering social inclusion programs and initiatives, and review the evaluation processes for such programs and initiatives. The core reading for today's session and some good authors really for this area of social inclusion, certainly within football, is Dan Parnell, Pringle, Widup and Zwolinski. Sorry, I'll get that right. That's a really useful article there, Understanding Football as a Vehicle for Enhancing Social Inclusion. And for the purposes of a case study, we're going to use the East Staffordshire Local Authority. And then Lurius, Kickstarting a Passion for Sport is also used. So just to revisit that notion of social inclusion and social exclusion, the Charity Commission say that social inclusion is a positive action taken to change that circumstances and habits that lead or have led to social exclusion. It is about enabling people or communities to fully participate in society. Social exclusion is when people or places suffer from a series of problems such as high unemployment, discrimination, poor skills, low incomes, poor housing, high crime, ill health and family breakdown. So just to reiterate that baseline understanding that we had from our previous session. So to provide some context from a footballing perspective, football's popularity in extending to communities less accessible through traditional political means suggests it may be the most likely sporting platform upon which to achieve social policy goals. We've mentioned in a previous session that football has this global appeal, and therefore it has an opportunity as a vehicle to reach or to achieve so many social policy goals. Of all British sports, it is perhaps football which has the greatest potential to reach and engage large numbers of children and young people. Owing to this apparent mass media youth appeal, it has received support as a vehicle to deliver on social inclusion agenda. So football in the community programmes, what are they? Well, some of you may be based within football community programmes and have a good baseline understanding at the moment. Often they are organised as independent registered charities attached to professional football clubs. They lead on the social welfare and corporate social responsibility agenda for football. And organisations that can aid the development of a range of social outcomes including sport participation rates, drug and alcohol abuse, social exclusion and health. And important to note in that final point there, sport. Although it's a football club linked to football, many community programmes now have taken on the responsibility to deliver on a number of different sports within the community, and link with a number of national governing bodies, not just the FA or the FAW. A task for you now, I'd like you to reflect upon the community department within which you are studying. If you are not based at a football club, then undertake some brief desktop research to familiarise yourself with one particular club. Maybe the club that you support and what is their setup with regards to their community trust or community programme. I'd like you to understand or research what their vision or mission statement is. Does it resonate with the social inclusion agenda? And if so, how? Whether that be through imagery or whether that be through the actual narrative, through the words that's explained within their logo or within their mission statement or vision. Discuss as a group or list ways in bullet point format on your own.